Yaz on our first video.
I know, good job. Good
so
job.
Good. And then we've just come together because we've met on Instagram and through a sewing group friend of yours.
Yes.
Because we both were interested in getting our artworks put onto fabrics, which will happen.
Yes.
And today I just, when that happened, I created our community group and wanted to start Members Monday with sharing about our Mondays, and you put your hand up.
Yep.
And
Why
we're
not?
going to just have a conversation about art and being authentic and go from there.
Yeah. You lead the way and I will jump in.
Yeah. So I personally have started a collection called Authentic Self, which was created in a couple of months ago before the COVID, and we had an exhibition and a celebration of authenticity. And I'd really love for this authenticity to come into our group. Like in our group right now, we've got members that are artists, quilters, graphic designers, marketers, interior designers, and it's a huge group. And, you know, it's like, whoa, it's like, wow. So with authenticity, I wanted to have a chat to you about what that means for you today and what about your authenticity brand. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm the founder of Tiny Cupboard Creatives, which started off as a platform for art educators to share good practice. And then what happened was I got sick. I got breast cancer and had, you know, everything that comes with it. And I had a lot of time to think, and I decided to launch into my own business teaching art from home.
Okay, yeah.
And then what happened was while that was happening, I was creating art and exhibiting for the first time and going a bit more public with my personal creative adventures. And this year it's kind of all meshed together.
Okay,
so because of COVID, I went onto YouTube. Hey?
Yeah, before this happened, you hadn't created since you were a child, or do you?
No. So before Corona, last year was the first time I actually went public with my artwork. Okay, but before that, I was a secret creator.
Creative, we call them.
Totally in the closet, 6:30 in the morning, and I would draw. I was like a serial short courser. I would go to things. I would do like 3-month courses and never told anyone about it.
Yeah. Okay.
And so now this year I've just kind of gone gangbusters and just gone YouTube, sharing my artwork, want to get it on fabric, sharing other artists. And I think when you talk about authentic self, I think about what does that mean for me? And I think it's all about stepping towards what aligns with me.
Yeah.
And it's owning all the bits of me that I don't even know about, like my Filipino heritage. So that's where my botanics came out of.
Okay.
Because I'm a first generation Filipino. Yeah. And I realized when I had kids, I knew nothing about the Philippines.
So you're really going and identifying a bit this year, really a bit more about your identity, what it means to be a creative, but what it means to also be yourself. And that's what you're exploring right now.
Yeah, like me as an artist, a mother, a teacher, you know.
And it's all coming together.
I want to be almost going to be a fabric designer.
Yeah, you will be, definitely.
You know, and just owning all the bits of me that I know and that I don't know, and plodding along. So being true to that.
And I love that being authentic can be really fun. You don't have to know all the answers, and that's the thing about like our group. And you know, we want to be here for the journey, really. You know, it's about raw, and it's being about authentic and owning your individual style. And if you don't know that yet, don't worry. You can be inspired and you can learn on your way. And that's what I love about having a chat with other members.
Look, I won't even, I would say that the Insta community, the teachers, in America, there's this huge community of art educators, and that's why I'm excited about your group, because it's Australia-based.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's funny because it really threw me last year that an American teacher started teaching his students about my art, and it was really weird. Like, I didn't even see my art in that way from a third party, and he was able to identify almost for me like my style that was evolving as the months passed.
Yeah, okay.
So it's really awesome. It's like, oh, I do have a style. Like, you know, I think you
definitely have a style. You've got a vibrant style and it's great. It's so infectious. It's so fabulous.
Oh,
I love it.
You know, it's been good, you know. Yeah, I felt very supported.
Yeah, awesome. And for those that haven't jumped on YouTube and seen you, I saw all your videos when I came across you, and I personally love how you teach your story and read your storytelling. So for those that don't know about that, maybe you could touch on a little bit about what you do with reading your artistic stories and sharing not only your journey, but you touch on other artists in the past, their journeys and their stories.
Well, the reason why that started was because I spent 10 years of my life teaching refugee kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I taught English through art for about 5 years. I realized, what was that?
That's where it's all come together. It has.
Yeah, so I'm in English as an additional language teacher.
Yes.
Who turned into an art teacher. And then stories and art are just besties, you know? So I realized with refugee kids, with the not refugee kids that I teach, the one thing that connects all of us are stories. We all bring a story. And so if you can tap into an artist's story and, you know, create a connection, it's such a meaningful art experience for whoever's watching.
And it's an experience in your own authentic way, because when you tell it, you're teaching it in a way, you're communicating it, you're using the language, you're using the voice, you're using the tone, you're setting a character just for yourself, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that
my idea is to spark. I want the person watching my YouTube to spark a connection for themselves.
Yeah.
And it'll manifest the way it manifests on that side of the screen. Yeah. And so that's the feedback I've got. So I'm lucky to have like a collection of books that I know will pull heartstrings about Matisse. And I don't talk about Matisse in his early days. I like to focus on him in his older days when he was sick.
Yeah.
To teach about resilience, to get the kids to understand that art isn't just about being pretty. It's about processing life.
It is expression, which is a huge thing that I love about my personal practice, is expressionism and in abstract.
Yeah, it's really important.
Clean and crisp, and you don't always know where it's going, but it's about exploring
and not having that not having pressure on yourself if you don't get it right. And I've been there. Like I exhibited in December and I hated the piece, and it took me a while to to accept that, but it's about leaning into those moments and pushing past them.
And putting your art out there, as well. Like, you might not like the work that you've done now in reflection, but in reflection it's teaching you a different lesson, and that is putting it out to the public and knowing what that feels like. And
it's very vulnerable. It makes you want to buy it a little bit.
What is it I've been there. I've definitely been there, and it's so exciting and to have an exhibition, but it can be very overwhelming too. So
100%. I mean, you had your own exhibition. I was just part of a collab, and I still felt like nauseated.
Yeah.
But that's where the growth's at, where you feel like you want to vomit and you feel really scared, but you're exhilarated, right? That's the sweet spot.
And I know that we have one member in our group, Beck, who started her Instagram called My Mindful Moments. And it's a great, have you seen it, Yaz?
What's weird is that someone shared Mindful Moments with me last week, and I went gangbusters sharing it, and I realized she's in the group.
Oh, awesome.
Literally got the book today. Someone bought me the book today, and I've started a little book club.
Oh, I love book clubs. Book clubs
that based on Beck's recommendation.
Oh, yes.
I was like, I've read this review before.
Yeah.
And it was Mindful Moments.
Yeah, Beck's Mindful Moments. She's been reading a lot lately, which is awesome, and getting people.
I love the idea of 12 a year, because I'm a slow reader. That seems like a good goal.
I know. We were talking about that. I said